So we all know there are terrible problems with the NHS. And you and your team have been, throwing some punches on this recently, or even on the front page of The Telegraph, a Conservative paper this morning, talking about the need for a reform, but also using some pretty choice language. You talk about bureaucratic nonsense, you talk about mundane inconvenience, mind-boggling wastes of time and money. Now, that's not normally how we're accustomed to hearing Labour leaders talk about the health service, but when it comes to sorting things out, is anything off the table for you?
Well, no, we want to look at all sorts of reform. But Laura, the reason I want to reform the health service is because I want to preserve it. I think if we don't reform the health service, we will be in managed decline. The health service is in the worst position it's been in its entire history under the Tories. So we have to, of course, fix the immediate problem. But in the long term, we have to recognise we need change.
But that's
Partly it's that bureaucracy. Anybody who's been on the 8 o'clock call trying to get a GP appointment knows exactly what I'm talking about. But partly it's also we're living longer. We need a preventative approach. We need intervention. It will always have to be free at the point of use. It, of course, should be a public service, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't use effectively the private sector as well.
But that's very interesting. You say nothing is off the table, but it still must be free at the point of use. Can you ever see a way to the funding operates? Some people say actually we should move to a social insurance kind of model.
No, look, free at the point of use is the founding principle for the NHS, and it's absolutely fundamental to me. But my strong view, I've been a reformer of public services for a very long time. I obviously ran a public service for 5 years, the Crown Prosecution Service, and I could see that we needed to reform. And we did reform. We made huge changes when I was Director of Public Prosecutions. There will always be people who say, don't change, keep it as it is. But actually, it's only those people who are bold enough, courageous enough to change our public services that genuinely believe in our public services.